Crypto curveball. For the past week now, the Bitcoin and especially altcoin prices have been plummeting. Is this the start of a bear market, or is this something that, we've done before and it's just a correction before higher prices? In this video, that's what we're going to go over. We're going to cover basically the state of the market given the new data and the scenarios of where we could be at within this cycle and what could happen next for summer, but for the rest of this year. And are we still on track for Bitcoin crypto top coming in 2024? Or now, since given the new data, could this bull market now be extended to the 2025 scenario? That's what we're going to dive into. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment. Come join the Discord. I am now back. I was traveling for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody. But now I'm back at home base, ready to get after it. So this video is going to be a little scrambled. I mean, it's kind of, you scratch your head when prices do this, when you see altcoins lower than they've been even at the beginning of this quote unquote bull run. So this is going to be a little bit scrambled. So forgive me for that as I kind of gather my thoughts as to where we're at as well too in the different scenarios. And this is going to be a public market update, but I'm going to be doing an additional members only market update, kind of going into some more specifics and details and things like that, and covering certain altcoins as well too. So that members only video will be released after this one. And I want to start this video off not on the prices or anything like that. I'm sure a lot of people are right now in a bit of despair or bummed that prices are going down. But to be honest, you should switch that mindset. And anything I, go over in this video or say are basically all my opinion, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, just kind of giving my thoughts based off my 8 years being in this market day to day. And human emotion in times like this, it kind of kicks you and you get a little beat down from it. But if you really change your thinking and your mindset behind this is a blessing. More time with prices extremely low is a blessing. I would love to see prices go lower for longer, because if you ultimately understand what you're investing in and you understand that the fourth industrial revolution is here and it's heating up and it's accelerating, and these cryptos and blockchain are going to be the backbone of this fourth industrial revolution, and these crypto assets that power these blockchain networks are like the digital fuel to power these networks, and they're a necessary function for them operating. And so lucky to have that there's a price attached to it and they're limited in supply with the potential for unlimited demand. It's a blessing. You should want to see these go lower for longer. And with crypto, it's all accelerated. It's not like you're going to see these go lower for longer and it could be a 5-year thing. No, with crypto, it's so fast paced. In 3 months, things could change super quick. And for the viewers watching right now, not sure how long you've been in the crypto market, whether you just joined into the crypto space and this crypto roller coaster ride back at the bull market top in 2021 or the bear market bottom in 2023, or maybe you're an OG like my man Pauly G, who was joining back in 2016, 2017, and have already gone through the ups and downs of macro cycles, but being in this space for as long as I have, all the way back here, I could tell you my life story through all these candles. You learn a lot, and that experience and understanding that. I remember like it was yesterday, back in 2020, when the COVID crash happened and prices went to the lowest point that you've seen in 4 years. And then all of a sudden, in a matter of 9 months, they've reached new all-time highs and your life changes in a snap of the fingers. That's how this market works. And it's usually the darkest before the beginning of the brightest times. So where we're at right now, in my opinion, and what has happened in the past week or months in this, especially in the altcoin market, is a blessing. And if you change your mindset to that and think now that, hey, I got more time and now I can get more bang for my buck, and lower for longer, in my opinion, is how I'm feeling about it. And even to this day, lower for longer, because I'm sure a lot of you guys feel that, you get to your certain goal on a certain coin, but it's never enough. There can always be more. And just a tiny bit more can change your life exponentially when these things do kick off to new all-time highs. So change that mindset. and take this as a blessing, because when things ultimately pan out, you're going to be grateful that you had more time to accumulate more at these levels. So that's just a mindset thing. And for the Stargate VIPs who are watching this right now, if you haven't gone through Agartha, our cream of the crop educational video, you got to go through it. Especially mission 6, the money mindset, and especially missions 5 to 10, an opportunity that comes once in a lifetime. That's what we're in. The power of conviction through education, the power of math, the power of patience, the key to crypto riches, the law of attraction. You got to go through these, because really this from 5 to 10, if you're feeling down in the dumps, 5 to 10 will bring you the peace of mind that you need right now, and that things are going to turn out much better than expected in due time. So go through that Agartha mission 6, 5 to 10, it's heat. So let's now go into the prices and kind of where I believe where we're at. So Bitcoin right now, definitely. And if you didn't watch my video from the other day, which is Bitcoin and altcoin prices are on the brink right now, meaning the brink of either a massive pump or a massive dump. Being on the brink doesn't mean, the brink of an explosion. It could be the brink of a meltdown or a melt up. And this is what needs to happen ASAP for us to be able to bottom and melt up. And what happened was it didn't happen ASAP. And with time, with something not panning out, the opposite side of the scenario is bound to happen. And that's what happened. So if you haven't watched this video already from last week, 6 days ago, watch it. Because we gave the scenario of what needed to happen and it didn't happen. And we had the opposite scenario happen and we saw what ended up panning out. I had said we could see a massive dump for altcoins, 20 to 30, 40%. And boy, did we see that. So now here we're at $64,868 for Bitcoin. It is Wednesday, June 19th, 3:28 p.m. We have the others market cap at 228 billion right now. If we go to a daily chart and you look at it, we went lower than the lows on the April wickening. And right now we've recovered a bit, but we're still very down in the dumps here. We do have some double digit gainers on the board today, like FET, AGIX. The merge is about to be happening soon. You have Flare Up, GRT, AI is really rebounding, some meme coins as well too. But where I'm seeing as far as, let's recap, because Bitcoin on the daily chart, we had said, this Pi Cycle MA, this red MA right here, and let me hide a couple things, was a must hold. We needed to hold it 6 days ago, and that was back here. We came back down, we came below it. We had a daily candle kind of body close right at it. We had the weeklies that we said, hey, we need to hold bodies above it, and we did get the weekly candle close above it on Sunday, but then we start off the week wicking above and we had a breakdown of this so far, but the weekly candle hasn't closed yet. A lot can happen in 4 days. But where did we touch down at? We touched down at the 21 weekly moving average with this purple line right here. And where we need to get back above for things to be kind of on a okay track of not diverting from every single bull market where the weekly Pi Cycle MA has held as support is we need to get back above 67K by Sunday. If we're going to be back on track with the timeline of seeing a 2024 top, blow off top, one more push up, if we can see the weekly close, the body of the candle back above 67K and a nice wick that touched the 21 MA, then we could be back on track for a blow off top here in 2024. If we break down and we can't close up above 67K by the end of this week, and we start to break below 64K, it's looking like we're going to come down to test the purple MA here on the snakes, as well as maybe come to the 786, which is around 59.5K. And if that's the case, we would want to have a strong reaction, a big buy from that point, and have a long wick on the bottom and reclaim that 21 weekly MA with the body of the candle, if that were to be the case, if we're going to see that blow off top come in 2024. If we were to break down from the 786, it would not be looking good, as we're likely going to come down to retest the macro 786, which was our concrete ceiling from the bull market top to bear market bottom at 50K. And we would need to hold that as support. We'd probably come down to 50K to 48K, maybe a wick to 48K, could even wick to 46K with that weekly 50 moving average. But we would need to have the body of the candles close above that 50K level. Because if it doesn't, then we have a prolonged bull market, and it would be looking more like a correction back in 2019, where, we would have another year kind of up and down, sideways, maybe a capitulation moment that would then bring in the second phase of the bull market, which is the new all-time high. Really, as long as Bitcoin is below 74K, nothing substantial can happen in collectively with altcoins. Bitcoin needs to break above 74K and hold with a weekly candle body above for us to see altcoins go on their parabolic run. So if I were you, just send an alert at 74K, like that, send an alert, and then set an alert at these levels that I'm talking about, 67K, 60K, right? And walk away. There's no point of just staring at this all day if it's just going to be going back and forth, chopping around. Set those alerts, walk away, enjoy summer, get some sun. And then when you get that alert, then it's time to tap back in. But those are the levels right now. We're basically on, the lifeline support. If we pull up the signals, the Stargate signals, the sell nows, buy nows, one thing that's concerning is, and every time the signals, in due time pan out, we had a 1 week sell now signal back April 15th, just like we had a 1 week sell now back March 2021. You get a sell now, it could go back up, but ultimately, in due time, it goes lower. Just like back here, August 2019, a sell now, we go lower. The only time where we've had multiple sell nows on the weekly in a bull market but continued up still was a 2016, 2017 bull market style structure. So if we were to come up here and break above 74K, to me, it would signify that we're pulling a 2016, 2017 type bull market structure where there will be multiple 1 week sell now signals before ultimately hitting our macro top. If we break the levels over here, like that I just stated, then it's likely we're going to have maybe a year of, or 6 months to a year of chop going down, capitulation, maybe even coming back down to 38K for Bitcoin before ultimately bottoming out again. And then, doing it all over again. And that would bring us to a 2025 bull market top. So those are the scenarios that I'm watching. Are we pulling that 2016, 2017 bull market structure, or has the top already came in and we did like a triple top, right? 1, 2, 3. That's what we have to wrestle with. The one thing that's leading me to believe that we're just pulling a 2016 market structure bull market is that altcoins have been suppressed this entire time. There's been a few select ones that have done very well, but altcoins haven't really flourished at all. So what leads me to believe that we're pulling a 2016 type bull market structure is if we go to, on the top I have others, market cap. On the bottom I have others, dominance. So I'm on the 3 week chart, very high time frame. There's something that I noticed that one thing is back in 2016 in August, and then also back here in October of 2020, a few things happened that we're doing right now. Let's start with 2020. Was, if you notice, and I'll match this up, is right. So we have 2021, right? Or 2020, 2021. So what we've been kind of alluding to is this structure right here of kind of just sideways stepping up like this is kind of like where we're at right here if we're comparing it back to 2020, 2021. And a lot of the things are lining up, the structure, kind of where we're at in comparison to the previous all-time high right here. But what's interesting is on the 3 week chart, you'll notice that if you match it up with the others dominance, we had others dominance going down at that point, but we had an uptrend of the others market cap going up. All the while during this time, Bitcoin, we go back to December of 2020, was right at its previous all-time high, kind of chopping up right there. And then it ultimately went into price discovery. So looking at this, we can see that we could be very much close to the altcoin big boom as well too, because if you look here, we had, and we're looking at the bottom, you had, a meltdown in the dominance, but others market cap kept its structure going up. And we're at the same kind of point right now. If you notice the MACD and the TSI, what we did, we had our bottom out here in July of 2023. And then like August 2019, we had our pull up and then we pulled back down, our pull up, pull back down. You can notice that there was 2 dark red MACDs, and this is a 3-week chart. So we're talking 6 weeks here. And it was dark red MACD, TSI curled down, and keep in mind, this is when Bitcoin was wrestling with its all-time high. And then when January hit, that's when Bitcoin broke to new all-time highs. And altcoins, if you're looking at that same spot, January of 2021 was when we finally broke out of this sideways chop. And then we super quick, it was about, 2 months, life changes off of just a move like that. And if we match it up where, all right, so this dark red that comes in, the last one is this bottom here. And then we start to see a big turnaround in the dominance for others. And then that matches up with a big breakout in the market cap as well too. If you look at kind of the comparison too with the blue and the pink of where we're at now, blue and the pink crossing, blue and the pink, or they're kissing right now. They crossed for one candle and then came back down. You had the stock RSI reset as well too, back down here. This is a 3-week chart, folks. So, and then you had the RSI break down and kind of, it's at the same level right now in a sense as well too. So, and then also we had it go to the 786. So from this low to the high up here, it hit the 786, and that's where we found our bottom, and we saw alts start to rally up. So we're close to getting that to that 786 right now. Others dominance would need to come down to 8.8%. And at that point, that could be the moment where we start to see the others dominance bottom out, and we could rapidly see a turnaround from that point. So what that would mean is if we're set, let's say, we're on the second red MACD, by July, the start of July 8th, we could see that others dominance by July 8th come down to 8.8%. And then we could see that bottoming out. And then by that point, we'd probably see the blue come up a little. We see a lot of matching as far as all the oscillators down here. And we could then see a big turnaround by this next candle. And if we were to take a fractal here like this and match this up, and it's going to be like this right here, something like that, where by July 8th, we bottom out. And then by the end of July, we have our recovery at like our U shape right there. Then when August happens, we start to reclaim back to where we previously were for the others dominance. And then when September hits to the end of this year, we see our breakout for others dominance kind of going back to where it previously was, or maybe even a new all-time high by the end of this year. So that's what I'm seeing as far as other dominance. And then that would match up to kind of where we're at with the structure here for the others market cap, is like we would be at this point right here, somewhere in between here, where you see that the pink started to come down, the blue was leveled off. Stock RSI has pulled down a lot more than when we did back here. So we're a lot more suppressed this time around. But as long as the TSI remains above that zero line, we're still in bullish market structure. And what we would need to see is by that July 8th, the stock RSI start to have a U-turn and then start to cross up, which would be kind of signified like back here, start to U-turn. And then we could have the pink start to uptick, and then we could go into our parabolic run here. And a catalyst that I see, and the only one that I see at this moment, is the Ethereum ETF going live for trading this summer, which has already been kind of pushed out as far as the SC goes, and the narrative is starting to build. So looking at this, what I see is it's likely, others market cap might have a little more room to go down to 193 billion, maybe a capitulation moment, 200 billion, 193, but it would be very minuscule, another maybe 10, 15% down, which would bring us to the 3-week 50 moving average, which there's a lot of touch points there of support, resistance, support. We come to there, we have the 21 moving average on the 3 week, the 50 moving average on the 3 week, as well as if we come down to there for others market cap, then it would be very likely that the others dominance could then come down to 8.8% and fill that role right there. And then at that moment, that's when the last bottom would come in before ultimately that U-turn V-shaped recovery. And then we would send it up for the latter half of this year to new all-time highs. So looking at this on the 3 week chart and then looking at it on the 6 week chart, so every candle's a month and a half, you can see that it's very clear at this point. You have your move down, you curl out, move down, curl out, you have your pop up, you cross down. And at that moment, once you cross back up, it's go time. So we're just at that phase, the calm before the storm of max pain, where Bitcoin's holding up. It's right at its previous all-time highs. Altcoins aren't doing anything or going down, revisiting its lows. But it's looking like very soon, in a matter of weeks, maybe a month and a half max, we could see that U-turn back up. And if we see that 6 week cross back up, we'll have a nice W. And that will be the last bottom before parabolic rally and new all-time highs for altcoins. So looking at this candle just closed recently. So there's a month and 10 days left for this to close. This had one red MACD. So in a month and 10 days, we could see this turn to green. So it's very much looking like we're right on pace as far as the calm before the storm. But it's really going to depend on, and what we need to see is Bitcoin breaking above that 74K level, because once Bitcoin breaks above that 74K level, it's likely we would see the others dominance touch that 8.8%. We would see the others market cap maybe come down to that 200 billion already at that point. And then we could have that U-turn V-shape, and then we would see everything line up as it did before. So that's one thing that I noticed that was very interesting to me as far as the others dominance and others market cap lining up in comparison with kind of where Bitcoin's at as well too. So it all really depends on, and set alerts. Bitcoin needs to break above that 74K with a weekly candle close. And if we pull down, we must hold that 59K-ish level. And if we really need to hold the 1 day 200 moving average as support as well too, which is currently sitting at like 58K, these prior lows here, which would coincide with that 786 from the low to the high as well too. You look at every single bull market, and Bitcoin has not broken the 1 day 200 moving average. Every single bull market spanning back a decade. See this yellow line: support, then support. We break it, bear market. The only time where we did it was back here. And that's the scenario. If we do break that 200 day moving average for Bitcoin, then we could be doing something like the 2019 correction, where that would give us some more time, lower for longer. And I'm on board with it. So that's what we need to watch. Critical level 58K for Bitcoin. And we can have a wick below it or whatever, but we can't have a couple days of closing below that 200-day moving average. We saw it close below for a couple days back on the March 2023 banking crisis crash. And then we saw in August, we closed below it, but we held the market structure. So if we were to close below it, as long as we can hold above the market structure of that macro 786 from the macro high to the macro low, as long as we can hold like 50K, then we're in good order. The moment that we start closing below 50K, the lowest 48K, and we start breaking below there, and we have daily candle body closes below there, then in my opinion, we're definitely doing something like the 2019 correction, and lower for longer, we have more time, which is a blessing. So that's what I'm watching. And you look at all this, the yellow here, the summer months, we could be doing something like last year as well too, if we're comparing it to more recent, where we had our move up sideways, and we could just be having sideways for a bit, and then we have a capitulation moment maybe in July. That's what brings the others dominance down to 8.8%, the others market cap down, and then we kind of go sideways and have a recovery. And then by September, we start to have our move up, kind of emulating exactly what we did back in last year as well too. So that's on the table as well. And then also, you look at the summer months and they're sometimes not favorable. I mean, I saw one other time where it was favorable, and that was back in like 2012. Back here it was favorable, and then back here in 2017 it was kind of favorable, but only once we got to the tail end of July. But most of the time it hasn't been favorable, or it's been sideways. So that's one thing to take note of as well too. Hey, I'm cool with lower for longer. If it wants to cool off for summer, I'm cool with that. We need to get some sun, right? So that's what I'm seeing as far as, seasonality. But as far as the levels, the 200-day moving average, the pi cycle MA on the weekly, we broke it already. So it's very critical that we get back above it if you want to see immediate upside. If you don't want to see immediate upside, then you want to see it stay where it's at right now. Because the longer that we stay at these levels, the more the momentum is just going to pull the price down, and the gravity is going to pull it down. So another thing is looking at the 3-week chart. We do have prepare to sell soon. You go back to the past 3 bull markets, and once that sell now comes in, the tops in, and the 3-week buy now is called the bottoms. So, and let me add the pi cycle. But so it's very critical that we do not cross down on this TSI. We could be doing something like 2016, 2017, where, we could get close to a cross down, but then we pull up. And in my opinion, it is looking more like that's the case. We're doing a 2016, 2017 type bull market structure, which is actually better because that means a bigger expansion, and it takes longer for it to pan out. And the longer that we have to accumulate, the better off we'll be at the end. So one thing is, I'm watching that heavy like a hawk. To me, it doesn't look like a bull market top would be set in at this point. We haven't even had like really any substantial excitement in this space. So in my opinion, we got to watch the levels, 74K, 59K, 60K, that level. And really, we got to take it level by level at this point. But looking at the momentum, there's a lot of work to be done. You go to a 1-week chart, and we're crossed down right now with the TSI. We're heading down rapidly. You look at the stock RSI, we're crossing back down. You look at the pink, it's coming back down, breaking key levels. You look at the RSI, if anything, we could be mimicking what we did back here, but that would mean that, let's say this is our first kind of low, first low. We have this right here, this right here. We had our pop up, wasn't as big. That would resemble here. And now we're kind of in this phase of working ourselves out. So we have some time. It doesn't seem to me that these things are going to pump to the moon tomorrow. It needs some time to kind of work itself out, reset all these momentum indicators. And it also needs some time, because once it really gets pulled down in a certain direction, it's like trying to turn a train going high speed. It needs some time to curl, and that's fine. That's what I'm seeing as far as the momentum is definitely down. As you look at you go to the Discord, and you go to the signals here. It's very important if you're a Stargate VIP and you have access to these to pay attention, because, you go back to weeks ago, and you're having a lot of high time frame sell nows. You look at March 20th, even back to when the macro top was in, you had March 19th, 6-day sell now, 5-day prepare to sell, a 1-week prepare to sell, a lot of prepare to sells right at that top. Then you had the sell now saying, hey, the momentum is done for. March 25th, sell now, 6-day, 5-day, sell now, 6-day, sell now. This 6-hour prepare to buy soon is peanuts compared to a 6-day. So very important to pay attention to these signals and understand how to read them, and understand the capacity, the implications of these signals and the time frames and what this means. And if you don't understand your VIP, I'm always here for you guys. Shoot me a DM or book a one-on-one and we'll go over it. So one thing that I'm seeing now is we're starting to see some medium time frame prepare to buy soon, like a 2-day. It's not like anything like a 6-day, but when you see a 2-day prepare to buy soon, a 1-day prepare to buy soon and stuff like that, that could mean that we could see a short-term relief rally, but it's going to take a lot to get the 6-day. Let's say we go to an example like FET. Let's throw on the screener, right? So we have a lot of 1-day prepare to buy soons. A lot of one day prepare to buy soons. We look at the 1 week chart and you probably had a sell now up here. You got a sell now up there. You go to a 2 week chart. Did we have a sell now up here? We had a sell now up here, right? So when you see those high time frame signals, it's going to take a bit for it to kind of turn around. It's going to take a bit. Like if we look at when the MACD turned red back here, in comparison, like August 14th, it wasn't until October 14th where we started to kick up again. So we could see 2 months of just kind of going sideways, working. Maybe we have a relief rally up to $2, but then we come back down and kind of working ourselves out until September rolls around and then we can go again. So it's not like these things are going to pump tomorrow. I would say set alerts, look at these signals, utilize them because they work. I mean, you can backtrack and look at when these signals came in and look at the chart and they work in due time. I mean, in the moment, right? You would think that, oh, there's no way, like the merge is about to happen with FET. So, it's sold too early. It's sold too early, right? When that sell now came in, let's see it. So it's selling too early. It's selling at $2.10 and, it went up to $2.80, but then in a matter of a couple of weeks, now you even went down to $1.11 and you're talking about a 50% drop. So in due time, it pans out. You just got to be patient. And that's where going through these course videos and understanding the power ofs and the concepts is so important. So yeah, looking at the higher time frame, sell now. So the momentum on a big time frame needs some time to work itself out. But on a medium time frame, looking at the 1 day chart, I mean, we could see a relief bounce here. We could see a relief. Maybe we come back up to $2. But in my opinion, there's a lot of work to be done on those higher time frames. So even if we do cross up, the momentum comes up, this, that, and the other thing, it's likely we got some time. So use this time to your advantage. Don't dwell over the current price action. Do whatever you can to keep, accumulating if you have the means to. If you feel like you're already packed up, that's good. But we still have time. Lower for longer, in my opinion, I'm a fan of it because we know in short order, all this stuff's about to be adopted and it's going to be exponential returns. So that's going to be a general update, kind of my thoughts, a little bit scrambled as far as what I'm seeing, where I'm at. I mean, looking at the 2 week chart for Bitcoin, we've resetted our stock RSI kind of where we were at in August of last year. It's going to take some time though for this to work out. We're talking maybe by July, this can curl back up, or maybe by August, but we got a little bit of time. So plot, use it to your advantage. Remember and learn from, all right, what altcoins and narratives were hot. Maybe you start to rebalance, reshift and everything like that. But we do have a little bit more time. And looking at the TSI as well too, I mean, we're getting close to a cross on that 2 week, just like we were close back here in September, then all of a sudden things changed. So that's what we could see by July or end of June to early July, we start to kind of save ourselves. And then late July to August, we start to pick back up again. That's what we could see. So there's some time to really reflect on and look at your portfolio and make a strategic plan. Now's the time to do it. And so mark those levels, set those alerts, join the Discord. If you're a VIP, understand these signals, utilize the course videos that you have, go through them. And if you have any questions, hit me on DM. I'll be in the Discord. I'm fully back. And I'll be making a private members market update on certain altcoins, XRP, XLM, Flare, some of our favorites, as well as going deeper into altcoins and strategies going forward. So that's going to be it. I don't know how long this video was. Hopefully it bounces out and exports to YouTube. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be in the Discord.